Please welcome Debbie Tinker, who will be reading the text. And Debbie, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay.
The first reading today is a quote from psychiatrist Carl Jung. This quote was so important to him that he had it inscribed over the doorway to his house and on his tombstone. The quote is, "Bidden or not bidden, God is present." And translating that into a metaphysical framework, we would say, bidden or not bidden, divine mind is present. Bidden or unbidden, God is present as a young rabbi is washed by the waters of the Jordan and blessed by a voice in the wilderness. Bidden or unbidden, God is present in eyes that are blind or eyes that can see, in ears that can hear and ears that do not hear, in hearts closed by fear and wrath and hearts opened by love. Bidden or unbidden, God is present in the design of the cosmos and the messages and patterns which guide us ever onward in our spiritual journey. Bidden or unbidden, God is present at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, at our birth, in our daily lives, at our death, in tragedy, and in celebrations. Bidden or unbidden, God is present. Thus ends today's readings. May they nourish you on your journey in wisdom and love.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. That was lovely. So I'm hearing a little background noise. Is everyone on mute? Oh, there we go. It's gone now. The divine patterns of the universe. In particular, I want to talk about the idea that various coincidences that occur in our lives are in fact the way that divine mind communicates with us. Yes, patterns and messages that occur in our lives are the hand of the divine at work. So I plan to talk about the form of these divine messages as well as the universal principles that underlie them. Now, we believe that the universe, or as we say in divine metaphysics, divine mind, is speaking to us all the time, and it uses many different methods to communicate. It uses its own unique language to inform and guide us. So, what exactly is this language that the universe, divine mind, uses to communicate with us? Well, in a minute, I will offer some specific examples. But for now, I will just say that this language comes to us through experiences, events, dreams, coincidences, people, symbols, really anything in our lives, including music, numbers, repeat patterns, street signs, passages in a book, animals, obstacles, detours, and yes, even technical difficulties. Life, inner wisdom, the universe, God, the divine mind, higher self. These are all the various names for the source of this voice that speaks to communicate with us and express itself through us. So these kinds of events are a reflection of the divine consciousness reaching out to us in symbolic and metaphoric ways. Now, as today's call to worship mentions, I suspect there are times when you have knocked on the universe's door, and in keeping with today's theme, times when the universe has knocked on your door. These are the times when something surprising or unexpected happens that guided you to take or not take certain actions, or maybe when you thought of something and coincidentally it appeared. You know what I mean? The phone rings and it's the very person you were thinking about, or you hear a song on the radio with lyrics that help you. These are examples of divine mind showing its love and its caring for you. Bidden or not bidden, divine mind is present. Now, these divine patterns and messages are often considered to be archetypal in nature, and they help to shape our lives. In fact, many people believe that all behavior and experiences are an expression of such archetypal energies. Thus, we could say that our individual reality is an archetypal pattern within ourselves that is manifesting in the outer world. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? Our individual reality is an archetypal pattern projecting out and creating our reality. As a little aside, this is what has drawn me to the archetypes of the tarot, which are really the telling of a universal story. These images help us understand that the archetypal and symbolic information that is trapped within the unconscious mind are projected outward to create our reality, to create our destiny. Like some other methods that I've mentioned and that I will mention, the tarot images are a container for the divine's messages to us. But know that the universe can communicate with us many, many other ways. So in divine metaphysics, we believe that there is a guiding force of the universe that seeks to have a conversation with us. The divine is trying to tell us something if we are willing to listen, and when we realize that we are always engaged in this conversation with the universe, whether we realize it or not. Now, these messages and patterns are examples of synchronicity. This is a term coined again by Carl Jung. A synchronicity, excuse me, is a seemingly random occurrence of events that's obvious connection. When these meaningful coincidences occur, they demonstrate that at the level of the collective unconscious, we are all connected. That's right, we are all swimming in the same pool of consciousness. You know, I've given a few examples, here are a few more. Recurring words or phrases, a book that several people recommend in a short period of time. Accidental meetings with someone who has just the information you were seeking. These are simple but powerful ways to communicate with the mystical universe. And as I said earlier, these synchronistic events are the universe's way of knocking on our door. When they occur, they show that the universe is working on our behalf. So synchronistic events occur when a need, a desire, a problem arise within ourselves and the universe responds. I suspect that each one of us has many stories about a coincidence that helped shape our lives. As I've been saying, these coincidences are the primary way that we recognize guidance from the divine. Maybe at the end of the service in our fellowship, if we have time, we can share a few of these synchronistic stories. So synchronicity occurs because we are all part of the universe, and the universe is therefore simply communicating with itself. Now, author Frank Joseph says the following about synchronicities. He says, synchronicities and patterns are little miracles through which an otherwise unseen consciousness communicates with us. We may speak to the gods in prayer, but significant coincidence is the means whereby they speak to us. I love that. Significant coincidence is the means whereby the divine intelligence speaks to us. So I know I'm repeating myself, but synchronicity works because each one of us is part of the universe, and the universe is simply communicating with itself. Now, author Diane Skate puts it like this. She says, symbols, signs, and patterns demonstrate that we are not alone in the universe. A sign is the instrument, the means by which spirit makes caring for us. Love that idea. Spirit is demonstrating its love and caring by giving us a cosmic nudge. When we are open to such synchronistic events, they can help us to make the best choices in life. Bidden or not bidden, divine mind is present. One final quote here. Author Paul Darcy says the following: "The divine uses everything. Divine consciousness, God, comes to us disguised through the events, people, and experiences of our lives." Again, I just love that idea. The intelligence of the universe uses everything. Any synchronistic event can be a sign that the universe is trying to get our attention. So how's everybody doing? I hope, I don't think anyone's left so far, so take that as a good sign. Let's take a quick look at the underlying principles that govern how the universe between ourselves, that governs how this conversation between ourselves and the universe occurs. First principle is called the oneness principle. In fact, this principle governs all aspects of life. It states that everything, all energy and all matter are interconnected. Signs and messages are everywhere because everything is one. Now, one of my favorite stories that relates to this principle is from the Indian guru Ramana Maharshi. A student one asked him, "Master, how are we to treat others?" Ramana Maharshi responds, "There are no others. There are no others." This is the oneness principle. The second principle is that we live in a loving universe, and that, as the Jung quote states, the divine is present in all aspects of our lives, including in the messages we receive from the universe. In divine metaphysics, we believe that the universe is run by goodness and love. And out of that love, the universe provides us with opportunities for us to grow and evolve. This is apparent in the meaning or pattern that we see embodied in the life of Jesus Christ, who we see as our teacher and elder brother. He is the template of our spiritual path and demonstrates this principle of divine love expressing itself in human form. Divine love expressing itself in human form. So I want to mention just a few more specific examples of this divine message system, First, from the animal kingdom. Animals often act as divine messengers. They can show up at the most random times and places to comfort us, to guide us, and to inform us. I heard a great story recently about a woman who received a somewhat humorous sign from the animal world. She was in New York on a job interview that would involve her moving from a small town in Ohio to New York City, striking out on her own, making a huge change in her life. She went on the interview, and then she had some time to think it over, and she was on the 25th floor of a hotel trying to decide whether to take the job. Suddenly, while sitting on the balcony of this high-rise hotel, a grasshopper appeared. It was a windy day, and the appearance of the grasshopper in such an unusual place and time struck her as a direct message from the universe. A grasshopper makes big leaps, and it seemed a sign of encouragement for her to go big, to take the leap into the new job. So again, the natural world contains many vessels through which the universe can send its guidance and its messages. Another category, people who have made their transition. In our church, we believe in the continuity of life and that death is a graduation into spirit. We accept that those who have crossed over can and will communicate with us. But since they are on a different frequency than we are at this human level of consciousness, they often communicate in similar ways as the universe, symbols, songs, numbers, and so on. Now, I have a little personal story that relates to this. My mother, who made her transition many years ago, collected statues of owls, little owl statues. She had quite an extensive collection. Now, my father was quite bereft at her passing, and about 6 months after she passed, he began attending a senior citizen social group for widows and widowers. And it was around Christmas time when he started attending, and he went to one of his first events was that he went to a Secret Santa gift exchange. I think you probably know where this is going. The Secret Santa gift that he received was an owl statue. It's a true story. I took this to be a direct communication from my mother, letting him know that she was still present and was giving him the go-ahead to get on with his life. I think we still have in our family, we still have that little statue that he got. Bidden or not bidden, God is present. Another category, dreams. Synchronicity appears in our dreams. The unconscious mind is the part of the mind that is the most deeply connected to the expanded universe and therefore more available to receiving messages. I love the story of Elias Howe, who invented the sewing machine in 1846. He had the machine all figured out, but he could not get the thread to work in the needle. He tried numerous ways, and then one night he had a dream in which he was captured and surrounded by some natives. They had pointy spears with oval holes at the tip of their spears. They jabbed him with their pointed spears and threatened him, saying, "You must invent the sewing machine or you will suffer greatly." When he awoke from this dream, he realized that his problems would be solved if he made an oval hole at the tip of the needle on his sewing machine, like the oval hole in the spear. It's a great story. The last category I will mention is people. People become the vehicle through which divine consciousness conveys important messages to us. They are often messengers who are here to help us. This is especially true of those people who challenge us in some way. We all know about these difficult people in our lives, the ones who push our buttons and annoy us the most. These people are often our teachers. Sorry about that. These challenging people are the ones that we need to spend time with because they can show us the unloved pieces within ourselves. I want to say that one more time so it really gets into your mind. We can find out what pieces within ourselves we are not loving through the mirror of these difficult people. Powerful thought. As we are able to offer them acceptance and compassion, we are also healing ourselves. Welcome them and bless them for showing you what you need to know to progress on your spiritual path. I had a friend who used to say, seek out the person who irritates you the most and take them to lunch. So my final comments, I will finish up by reminding you that you can try a little experiment anytime. Ask the universe for a sign about something. It could be anything. Be as open as possible. See what happens. And I know you know this, but signs, patterns, messages are meant to be helpers. It's up to us to change, act, move, or stay stuck as the case may be. These messages can never, ever absolve us from taking personal responsibility. The power to act always and ultimately lies in our own hands. So, my friends, I invite you to develop your own conversation with the divine. May you remember who you are and know that wherever you go, bidden or not bidden, divine mind is present. And may divine mind bless you.